All right, welcome back. It's still Galaxy today, and it is the relationship segment. Let me put it that way. It's the lifestyle edition, of course, and we'll be looking at something very, very interesting. And we have guests in the house, okay?
Exactly. We have Tayo Olushola, a family and life therapist, as well as a Bridget Election, a relationship coach this morning. Good morning.
Good
It's
morning.
good to have you again.
Yeah.
Okay. I love the topic we're looking at today, handling breakups. And then this is something that I'm maybe somewhere within me. I'm like, if you have a girl child or a boy child or a teenager, because I see that breakups do really have effect on people. It looks like a whole lot of people's attitude today are burnout of breakups. And so that makes me wonder, how do we tell them to handle breakups? How do they understand that some breakups are necessary? I mean, that's why we have you here, so let's talk about it. Let's start with the lady.
Okay, ladies first. Yeah, I've had a name, okay. Yeah, good morning. So, for me, what I would advise is, first of all, something that is not expected, depending on who is doing the breakup. Because if it's the person that decides to say, okay, I'm breaking up with you for whatever reason, no matter how long you've stayed together, even if it's 3 months, you've been in that person's life for 3 months, you'll miss the person. So the first sign is, okay, whoever is being dumped, let me put it that way, to say, I don't want you anymore, will ask himself or herself, what have I done? And will look inward to say, maybe there's something wrong with me. And if he or she has been through such type of breakup in the past or been dumped in the past, will start looking as if there's something wrong with me. Sometimes I tell people, whatever is wrong might just be a blessing. Get that? And for me, as a marriage counselor, we say it like a cliche. A broken engagement is better than a broken marriage. Because with a marriage comes with so much pain, hurt, and if children are involved, it's also a circle of, okay, the children will start feeling they are failures because their parents decided not to be together. So with the young people, it's still easy, especially when sex is not involved. Because when sex is involved, you've practically sold yourself. You have something that is beyond just talking and being friends. So when sex is involved, it's harder to say, okay, I gave him my body or whatever. For the guys, it's easy for them to walk away to an extent. But when you understand it in another form, spiritually, there's a soul tie when you see sex is involved. So it's harder for the lady to say, okay, I've been eaten, by this guy, and then he's broken up with me so that he can go to another person. And so that becomes a pain. I've given him my body, I've given him this, but the truth is you can bounce back. If you look at yourself, it's okay, yes, I am shocked that he's breaking up with me, probably I'm fine, or you thought, oh, the sex will keep him, or whatever. But now that he's not being kept, and you're feeling hot, you need to sit down, consider, to say, okay, how do I bounce back? And the first way is get people into your lives. Okay, if you've done things together, get friends, get family. Look for a sounding board, somebody you can talk to that can understand your pain. Even if he or she has not been through such breakup, can say, girl, go on with your life. Or boy, there's life after this.
Okay, fine. So, invariably, what you're saying, most ladies should tell themselves that almost all of the time that it's not exactly their fault that they were let me not I don't I'm scared of using the word
dumped.
But then
that's
again,
the reality.
but then
He
again,
dumped me.
Taya, let me ask you because sometimes some people say he didn't even have the courtesy, the respect to even talk to me in person. Is there an ideal way to break up? Some people will say it is never ideal to break up over the phone, that you should at least give the person the courtesy of talking to the person one-on-one. But some people would rather want to avoid that, saying that it's even difficult, and the one-on-one contact might make things harder. So is that a very good way to break up? Are breakups avoidable sometimes?
Well, let's start from looking at the breakups itself. The way people say breakup will actually determine the way they handle it. Breakups sometimes are inevitable. You understand? They do happen, and it happens to the best of people. Not because either of them has done anything particular, but it does happen. And at the end, they begin to look at it that why did it happen? You understand? So break up sometimes, because not all relationship should actually end up in marriage. Some relationship are such that it helps you to fulfill some other destiny, some other purposes in life. So the fact that you enjoy one relationship so much does not mean that you should be looking up to marriage. The person has been brought into your life to fulfill a purpose, to help you to achieve something. You could cherish that relationship, you understand? But however, if you feel that you've been dumped or you feel like walking away from somebody, I feel there are better ways to undo it, because honestly, the fact that you broke up does not mean that you cannot still be friends. So we're not just looking at break up before marriage. We are also looking at break up inside marriage, because divorce is a break up. You understand? And divorce also happened to the best of people. I've met people who told me, well, I didn't know what I was doing when we were both breaking up. But honestly, if I had a second chance, I wouldn't go that route. You know, so when people actually break up, they broke up for so many reasons. You ask the question, is there any ideal way? I feel that if you have spent time with somebody, good times, and within you, you come to realize that this is not somebody you can spend the rest of your life with. You could enjoy moments together, but when you're talking about spending the rest of your life with somebody, a lot of thought and consideration need to be put into it. So if you feel that you can't, I simply feel that you can invite a person for a date and sit down at a round table and discuss it. Some people say
that easy?
Of course, what exactly is easy in life? What exactly is easy in life?
And you're not scared at the end of the day you might just get a broken head at home. You know?
For what?
You know, some people might not be able to handle it.
Of course, if you know, and that's the reason why I feel that you need to know the person you want to discuss with.
Okay.
You can have a broker who can broker the deal. I've handled such severally.
It's advisable.
Yes, it's advisable. If you know you cannot, just like if you are a man, you cheated on your wife. I won't advise you as a therapist to go ahead and go and tell your wife. Can your wife undo it? So is it everyone that can undo breakup? Breakups are not so easy. They're traumatic. And the pain can linger for long.
Yes.
So I think that a lot of consideration should be put in place where you actually want to walk away, because honestly, you will actually meet that person in future. And I feel the fact that you are walking away does not mean that you cannot still meet in the future. You can still be best of friends.
I see. Okay, I like us to also look at it from this angle. I mean, I think I'm more concerned about the consequence of breakups. How do you deal with it? I have an elder brother who works in the UK with psychiatric home, and he said about 95% of people who you see there are actually victims of breakup, and they couldn't handle it and they go. So now that one, as a lady, he's just broken up with you, and probably you are not aware of your weaknesses or what you feel you can do. How do you suggest that such a person should handle that breakup without losing his or her mind?
Okay, I think I would like to start on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel that people should be allowed to express their feeling. In the first instance, sometimes we even accuse people that feel somehow because they experience a breakup. Breakup, there's grieving in breakup, just like you lost somebody as a result of death. It's the same way when you lose a relationship, because actually the memories of the time you have spent together, the beauty of the dream you have together, when you think about it and you see it fizzle away before you, it could make you to fall into a traumatic situation. So honestly, we should allow, the first thing I advise people to do is to express their feeling and believe it is natural for them to feel the way they are feeling.
Express it anyhow.
So you could actually mourn the relationship.
No, let it flow. You feel like cry, cry.
Okay.
You feel like being moody, be moody. You feel like grieving.
But some
Don't
go
bottle.
volatile.
Don't bottle it all.
But some people go volatile.
It depends on the kind of person, because
Okay.
only your feelings will help you deal with it, will help you accept the situation. Like you said, if you want to cry, cry. Because yes, you've lost something. And especially if you've been together for like a number of years. If it's a player. You know, there are some guys that are good with playing with girls' emotion, and you knew that he was the player. He has broken up with quite a number of girls, and you went into the relationship. You two will buckle up and, you know, move on because you knew what you were getting into. But when you are in a relationship that is heading somewhere, and then he tells you you are not the woman I used to love and everything, and I'm moving on. Probably he has seen somebody, and you know, sometimes his wedding card even comes out, and you're like, while we were planning our life together, you were already, you know, planning with somebody else. It will be painful, but believe you me, life will continue. The sun will still shine. The moon will come out when it's supposed to come out. It won't change anything. So how do you bounce back? You have to tell yourself. Sometimes people talk to themselves, you know, like I'm talking to myself, like, oh, Bridget, there's not going to be traffic, there's not going to be traffic. And I'm saying it. Abiola Salami just said something. You know, those self-talk, telling yourself you are great, telling yourself you can do it, that he does not want you does not mean another person will not want you. And probably you will meet somebody better, greater,
and
richer.
it doesn't mean that you're not
valued
good anymore.
You are valued. Value yourself. I tell people, work on your self-esteem. Let your esteem be so bright, as in you are so into yourself, you are in love with yourself, you have a date with yourself, you have a relationship with yourself, that even when it's not there, there's nothing. I can do good and bad all by myself.
And just things. Okay. Please, before you go ahead, another thing I think that person actually need to do after that is to make sure the person is not in guilt. You are not responsible for the breakup.
Yeah.
Don't ever get to the point where you say you are responsible for the breakup. No. Don't accept it because you will live in guilt. That's the second thing. There's so many other things. I guess we will talk about.
But how do you turn it into a learning experience? And for instance, how do you move on when you're on the rebound? How soon is it advisable to just move on to the next relationship?
We cannot even be talking about rebounding now because the person needs to be healed.
Exactly. Some people
Yes.
think the best way to move
But how long
on is
does it
just
take
get
for this
into
healing?
There is no specific.
There's no specific time
period.
depending on the
It can
person.
last for 3 years. I'm talking about a loss.
Okay.
Just like you are asking me, you lose your husband died. How long will it take you to come out of grieving? Nobody can tell. For some, it can be faster. For some, it can last long, depending on how you accept it. There are 5 stages of grieving. Some people, if the man walk away, she will still be telling herself, it can't be possible. It's coming back. It's coming back. It can't be possible. And she will want to wait till the person walk through the house with another lady or with another man to the altar. So have you accepted? That's why I said accept what has happened. Feel it and accept that it is natural. It happens all the time. Don't say it can't happen to you. Now that has happened to you, how are you going to handle it? So after that, make sure you are not in guilt. The third one, try and reflect. What have you learned?
The positive aspect.
Yeah.
The positive aspect of it.
Okay.
What are the learning curves? Again, like I said, don't accept that you are wrong. However, there could be some things that you actually did that
You
if
need
you're
to
going to go
work
into
on.
another relationship, you won't do again. So you need to work on yourself to be a better person. You understand? And if the person is actually good to you, you can ask him, is there anything I have done wrong? Would there be anything that you're actually looking in a woman that is not in me, so I can work on it? And also, I think the person that is grieving as a result of somebody walking, we need to also get help, because if you are not healed, if you want to fight back and say, and I will show you that I will get married before you, and before you know it, a relationship, somebody comes your way and you quickly grab the person just to spite the other person. Show you see, you thought I will be on the ground while you went. I want to show you that if many cars doesn't go to Igbo, thousands of cars we go there. You know that, did you? You understand? Some people do that, and because of that, they quickly go into another relationship. You can be sure that such relationship may not last. Okay. So there is need for true healing.
Yeah.
Okay, how about that part of this myth where a lot of people think, I think it happens to both genders.
Yeah.
And I've heard, you go to the restaurant, you hear people say it. The other day at the reception, an artist came in and was saying it. There's this belief, because of what you've constantly gone through with a particular, maybe as a guy, you've been dating girls, and this is how it plays out. And then there's that mentality, ladies are this. Would that barrier not affect you from, or how, I don't even know how to place the question. How do you also help such a person to unblock
Switch, from
what he feels so that he could get, because there's this belief that people would say, after it's a woman that made a man for, and the woman will say, but the man was not there.
They
to
blame
actually
us for everything.
So it's now a belief where everybody's I've had people
Not
say
all the
that
time.
if they're getting married, they're not getting married based on trust, because they feel women will always be this, and some women will say men will always be this, and it's a myth now that is eating so deep. How do you help people unblock that myth?
The truth is, your mindset is important. As a man thinks in his heart, so he is. So if you think all women are bad, you keep meeting the bad ones, because you already have the expectation that this will happen to you. You will meet the bad ones, because it's, you know, like having a good vibe. If you tell yourself every morning, it's going to be a beautiful day, good day, somehow, as they will say it, the universe, everything will conspire to make that day good for you. Just as those that believe in God will believe that day will be good for them, because they've said so. Your words are important. So when you start thinking, okay, maybe you got jilted by a lady from maybe one major tribe, and then you say all ladies from that tribe are evil. Why? Yes, because of what the person has done. That is generalization. You're just generalizing that because she did this does not mean everybody from that tribe. Have you gone round all the ladies in that tribe? No. So you're just taking that as a mentality to say, oh, this is what should be. So, but what should be is, I had this relationship with this person, and what he was trying to say is, what was my own contribution in the breakup? What did I contribute? Did I pay attention? Was I there for her? Did I meet her expectation? Same thing with the lady. Was I his model of a wife? Was I the kind of person that he wanted? But one thing we should know and we shouldn't do when you break up, because I've seen people that broken up and come back together, but you now start bad-mouthing the person. And you know this is the era of Facebook, Twitter, and everything, and you go on social media, that idiot, that badass guy, this, that, and you start using curse words, you know, on the person and saying all sort of things.
All right.
And then you don't think and reflect, how did we get to this point? And you don't really think of, I'm not saying go out of circulation. Take your time, but don't curse, don't say things, because what if he just wanted space? What if he wanted to observe you more, or she wanted to observe to say, okay, he has some things that he needs to work on.
So
let him
get
get more.
Yes. It happens.
Yes.
It's even
And then by the time you curse and you're nasty, you go to his parents, go to everybody or her parents, go to her friends, she's lousy, she's this, and then you now see that this is really the love of your life. Shame will not allow you go back. So we must be careful.
All right.
Justin, you know what?
Yeah.
I've seen two people who broke up. They went separate ways, and suddenly they met somewhere at a gathering. And they spoke to each other. And they felt what they used to feel for one another, but the two of them couldn't express it.
Wow.
Meanwhile, they were both speaking to a counselor, not knowing that they were speaking to the same counselor.
Wow.
So when the counselor noticed that, he booked appointments with them differently, and they both met. He now relates what each of them discussed with him personally. And they were now talking about, why did you break up in the first instance? And they were able to handle that little issue that made them to walk away, and they got back and they got married.
All right, we have some questions. Just keep them coming. Let's see if we can take some of them. This is from Timmy here in Ikeja. It says, do you think it's right to get out of a relationship and have feelings for another immediately, or do you think it's love, or it's just because the person is lonely?
I think loneliness has a lot to do with that. It's not advisable, because sometimes you make the wrong choice. Because now you're wounded, you're hurt, and you just, any available person, you're trying to tell yourself that because he didn't accept me, anybody can. I'm still in the market, I'm still good enough, and you just get on the rebound and get somebody else. That's not
And it
not
could
advisable.
be that your mind was not actually in that first relationship.
Okay.
It could be.
All right,
Your eyes was actually somewhere else.
Aderonke is asking her a question. She writes us from Mikorodu here in Lagos. She says, is it normal or advisable to date someone that has once broken your heart? Can they regain the past love the way they were, and would they be able to cope with it?
Of course. He just gave the example of people that broke up and came back together. It's possible, but then you ask yourself, especially if you had closure to the first relationship, okay, what were the things that made us break up? Am I still seeing those things? Are those things no longer there? Is the person more matured? You know, especially when it's like a school, secondary school love thing and or early university days. The person might not be matured enough, and then you meet him or her later when they are now working more matured and then can handle things better. Then you can.
Just please, before you continue, I just want to play out a case here that a friend told me about another friend who she introduced to a particular guy. The guy instead wanted this friend of mine, but she was involved with someone else and said, okay, I have a good girl who's like me that you can have. And then the good girl and this other friend started dating, but after a while they had to break up. What happened? The guy said, she's not just what I want. And I think there was pressure from home. And then because of that pressure, he decided to go back to that other girl. Now, my own friend now is telling her friend, I wouldn't advise you go back. Why is he coming back? Is it because of the pressure or because he really wants you?
It's a good question.
So in a situation like that, what would you advise the lady to do? And she's really in love with this guy, but her friend is like, are you sure he has the same... do you think he feels what? Because eventually if you guys are married, okay, mom still wants me married and I'm married, and he could go out doing his own thing. What would you advise such a lady?
I need to get the story because now, is it the girl that introduced the guy to a friend that is now dating, or the friend that he parted with, and now he's coming back?
He's coming back to that friend now.
So she'll ask questions. Is it pressure? Is it because Mama and Papa, they're saying we should get married?
She's not listening because she loves the guy before he broke up with her.
Okay.
And so now that he's back, she's all about, he's back, let's just go ahead with it.
It's a two-way thing because in that case, talking from a woman's perspective, he can get away with anything because you are so in love with him and he's taking you to say, okay, I just want to get married because you are the next available thing. It might not be true love. It might work out at the end of the day when he now sees that, okay, this is really my wife. Not because of pressure from my mom and my dad or my papa and my mama, as we say it. And it might work out. But on the other hand, if he's really not into her, and yet after the marriage he's still not into her, she might just be the one giving so much to the relationship, and she'll keep managing until one day she tells herself, I can't do this anymore.
That's why it's good for her to listen to the counsel of her friend, to ask herself the question.
Yeah.
Marriage is a lifelong issue. You don't go into marriage with the intention that you are going to work out. So you need to ask yourself a lot of questions, ask the guy a lot of questions to verify whether his mind is actually into it. You don't marry to pity anybody.
Okay, so how about the place of time? Can she give time? Okay, let's date and watch things for a while before taking that boat.
Of course.
It's advisable. That's the best. That's the best thing to do.
All right, this one says, good morning, Justin. Our friend broke up with her ex-lover on the grounds of distance between them, and later informed the ex that she was no longer interested in the relationship. She went as far as getting her new love to speak with her ex on phone that he was her new man. That led to the ex shedding uncontrollable tears. Was that an ideal way to end their affair?
That's so unfair. I know what distance does. I don't advise long distance relationship. It's not fair on both parties. For some it will work, but not for everybody. You know, but to now get the new guy just to prove a point, that's being mean. That's really being mean. Like he was trying to say, sometimes it's better to talk to the person one-on-one, and if you know you cannot, get somebody, but not getting your new man or girlfriend to talk to just prove a point. That's not being considerate.
Okay. My husband decided to have a child outside because I have not been able to give him a child. He is opening up on his plans about the other woman, whether he wants to marry her or not. What do I do?
They are married. They had a child outside wedlock.
Yeah.
As your husband told you, he's no longer interested in you. You understand? The first thing you need to do is that, you know, the first session is playing back now. It depends on the way the man handles it. Yeah. If the man is handling it and telling his wife that I have the right to do this, I can't stay with you, already the woman will be broken.
Yeah.
So even if the man is not pushing her away, she will want to walk away. You understand? She will want to walk away. But if the man is not pushing her away, I feel if God strengthens this woman that is without a child, she can cry on God and also discuss with her husband. They can both discuss whether to bring the child into the house
and not the woman.
And not the woman. It depends on how the two of them are looking at it. In a sense, now it's been proven that somehow, there's nothing wrong with the man.
Are you sure? What
No,
if
wait,
the other lady
wait, no,
comes
wait,
with,
I'm not
comes
saying...
with a pregnancy that is not
Wait,
his because he has a talent?
Wait.
Women are that
I'm
good.
not concluding on that. Because I expect the two people to be, the husband and wife, to be able to sit down and check truly.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying that if truly this is the child of your husband, it will be good you collect the baby and bring the baby in, and you both nurture the baby.
All right,
except the man want to say you should go away, because this is a case you need to really manage.
Yeah.
We can't ask you to go away.
No.
And the man will also insist that he wants the
All right,
baby.
Taya, we're completely out of time. We must say a very big thank you to all of you who have sent in your questions, your feedbacks. We do appreciate it, but we cannot take any more. We must say thank you to our guest this morning.
Exactly. Before now, we had Senator Emmanuel Bwacha representing Taraba South. We want to say big thanks. And of course, to Abiola Salami, a business executive and life coach, who took us through communicating your way to greatness. Thank you so much. And a very big thanks to Tayo Lushala, family life therapist, and Bridget, election relationship coach. Thank you so much for coming to the program.
Thank you so much.
I do appreciate it. And to you who sat back to watch all this, we want to say a very, 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 very big thanks.
All right.
We'll do this tomorrow, which is going to be Friday Entertainment. Do not forget, it's going to be all fun. I'm Uche Onyekuru. Do have a splendid weekend.
All right, I'm also Justin Akadani. Just to remind our winners who won on Party Time, our ticket to see Black Panther at the cinema. You can come